watching me from the depths below, a haunted grave where shadows grow. Deadpit is watching me with eyes so cold, they're watching me now.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to episode 17 of Deadpit is Watching. I am the host and the only host of this show. No one else is important in this show. I'm Uncle Bill.
Look, buddy, I'm the co-host. You can kiss my ass.
No.
My name's the Creepy Kentucky. This is episode 17 of Deadpit is Watching. Bulls. You got all these other YouTubers out there that's blowing smoke up everyone's ass. They're just holding these movies up. Here's what I picked up. I'm never going to watch it. Yeah, I picked this up though. I'm never going to watch it.
Never watch it.
We watch. We're always watching. And this is proof. Because we've got plenty of movies tonight on the show, Uncle Bill. And this is going to be a long night because a little bit later tonight is the Vinegar Syndrome Labor Day Spooktacular. I don't know why. I can't keep track of what they call these goddamn sales.
They literally call this one something like the fucking Vinegar Academy or something like that.
Vinegar Academy sale. They're supposedly, they found all kinds of shit from Charles Band's warehouse, right? Some old Vinegar Syndrome stuff, because they've been cleaning their warehouse out. We'll see what they've got. But,
I mean, this sale tonight will be killer, though, because I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they're like, we found like 200 different titles or something like that. So basically every title they've ever done, they found a box of it.
There's a couple. I've made a small list that I'm quickly searching for whenever it goes live. Yeah. But the whole gimmick is they're changing them up, I think, every day, like out of print titles. We'll have to see. But that's later tonight with Born to Be Rad and Planet CHH. It's a big multi-stream and be starting around 11:30 tonight. So you can stay tuned for that. But right now, man, we've got a ton of movies to get into and to talk about. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it off tonight because this was one that I read a little bit about it and heard about, the movie and looked at some of the reviews on the internet about it. I never heard of this movie before at all. It's a little bit before my time. This is Save the Tiger, which recently came out from our good friends over at Kino Lorber. This is part of the Studio Classics line. It is a Blu-ray. Okay. And Jack Lemmon stars. It is directed by John Avildsen. Before he did the Rocky movies and the Karate Kid movies, it kind of made him kind of a household name as a director. It's totally different, really, than those movies. I mean, maybe a little more similar to Rocky. It's a drama. It is a very slowly paced movies in certain ways, but there's great performances in this. So this isn't much like anything that we would normally review. So that's why I'm kind of kicking the review section off with this one. Jack Lemmon in this is Harry Stoner, who's a businessman. He runs kind of a clothing fashion company. And it kind of follows his life for a day in the life of Harry Stoner, if you will. And he's got issues, man. He's like a World War II veteran, I think. This is from 1973, if I didn't mention it. And it kind of follows his life, and he is, not happy with the way society is going now. He was more, he was one of those guys like, back in my day, son. And he was kind of an older guy here. When did Jack Lemmon pass away? Do you remember? It's probably been 20 years ago or longer.
Yeah, he was fairly up there too when he passed away. I mean, he was in like movies later on, like the Grumpy Old Men movies and stuff like that. So, I mean, he probably lived into the 2000s.
Like the early 2000s, maybe, or something like that. So, yeah. But yeah, he was probably middle-aged at this point. And this, like, he doesn't ever really have a breaking point in this movie. He's kind of like an easygoing fellow businessman that kind of gets ideas in his head how to, his life has gotten very like ordinary, right? And he sees people in his life and he has ideas that, things could be better, I guess, right? And I mean, it's just one of those movies that it's all acting. There's not a whole lot of action or it's pretty much just him and almost like his depression and PTSD. And I can see why it's not a household name movie, because this isn't one that you'll rewatch over and over and over again. But there are some great performances in this. I had to do a double take because I didn't know this guy's name. But he plays the character Phil in the movie. And his real name, I shit you not, is Jack Burton. That was his real name. And I was curious, I was like, did Carpenter do that as like a tribute? But I never could find that out. But that guy's a great character actor in this movie. He's, basically Jack Lemmon's assistant. But the movies that I remember him from was the Cocoon movies. He was in that as a much older man. I think he played the character of Bernie in those movies. Great. I always thought he was a great actor. I never really saw him in a whole lot of stuff, to be honest. I mean, may have been a lot of the older movies that really, I haven't checked out or anything. But Jack Lemmon's performance in this is pretty great. It's almost like one of those deals where you think that he's like a real person in that role, almost like a documentary. So I can definitely understand why he won an Academy Award for this. Now, another interesting thing that I thought was pretty wild. This only had, from what I could find, one other disc release that Paramount Pictures brought out in the year 2000. So this is the first physical media release this thing has had in 25 years. And it was an Academy Award winning performance in this movie. I thought that was kind of odd. But yeah.
It's weird to me though, because I'm usually pretty good with Academy Award winning anything, especially if it's like Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Picture, stuff like that. But I've never heard of that movie until now. I don't know. That's one of those movies that just escaped into
Well, it
time.
is from 1973.
Yeah, the year of The Exorcist. Maybe that's why it got buried.
Maybe.
That movie was so.
But yeah, I mean, he's trying to get somebody to commit arson on his company so he can collect insurance. He's fooling around with hookers for clients. I guess it's like a midlife crisis almost is what he's having. But I enjoyed the movie for what it was. It's something that I'll go back and rewatch. No, it's a one-time watch. And I think it would be that way for a lot of people. But I will say this, Kino Lorber, man, they do the Lord's work here. I mean, look at how classy this is. This release here, almost, I would say almost Criterion level cover there. Mm-hmm. And there is some extra features in this. There's a couple of different audio commentaries, one with the director, John Avildsen, with the writer and producer, Steve. What the hell's his name? I swear to God, Steve Shagan is his name.
Yeah.
Steve Shagan.
Nothing wrong with that.
Another audio commentary with film historian and author Dwayne Epstein and a theatrical trailer. This is a Blu-ray. And, like all of the other releases, they all look great on the shelf together. It's pretty much a basic release. No frills, no fancy boxes or anything. But I kind of like that, man. I don't have a problem with that. So if this sounds like something interesting to you guys, and again, this is John Avildsen, the guy that later did Rocky and The Karate Kid. And I think we're going to be reviewing another one of his movies, Joe, from 1970. Coming up here pretty soon.
Dude, that movie is friggin' rough. I mean, it's a movie that absolutely 100% would never get made today, but it's really great. Yeah, for a lot of
I'm
reasons.
looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah. Uh, so I guess I'll do first. This movie, for some reason, it's just one of those movies that defies explanation as to why I watched this 1,000 times when I was a kid, but I did. Because it's not really a movie for kids, but you just like find certain movies and you hang on to it. And this is one of them, 1986's Gung Ho, starring Michael Keaton, Getty Watanabe, Mimi Rogers, who looks amazingly like freaking Andy McDowell. Like I never noticed that much until I watched this movie. I'm like, they basically look like the same person, like in this time period. But anyway, I've always loved this movie, and it's just a story of Michael Keaton's character is like a Pittsburgh auto worker, and this factory goes out of business, and they send him to Japan to be like the spokesperson for this town to try to get like the Japanese like automakers to move into this town and take over this factory. So it's just kind of showing like the difference between like their culture and our culture in a way that would 100% not go over today at all. Like there's so many things in this movie I could like point to and be like, they would never even think about doing this today.
I haven't seen this movie in so long, but it was always on HBO and Cinemax.
Yes,
And
that might be why I watched it so much.
I think that's why I saw it, because it seemed like they always had it on. It was one of those movies that was just always on there.
So, Getty Watanabe's character is like a disgraced Japanese auto worker that they send him to the U.S. to take over this factory because they don't think he'll succeed. Basically, they don't have any faith in him, so they just send him out of the country to go like do this. And come to find out, between him and Michael Keaton, they are able to kind of like put together this ragtag group of auto workers to get this contract where the Japanese will come over and like take over this factory. So great supporting actors in this movie too. You got George Wendt is in this movie. You got Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard. You've got, who's the guy? I always forget.
Ron Howard's directing the movie too.
Yeah,
right?
Ron Howard's the director. Yeah, that's why Clint Howard's in it. But like, ain't no other reason for him to be in this movie.
Brotherly love.
Who's the guy? Turturro. John Turturro's in this, and he's great in this as well. So it's like it's got like a great cast. Great, like this is back when like you could make a movie about anything, and it was competent, and it was like done, and the acting was good, and it had a good plot line. It had a good resolution. It's just a good movie.
Like what overall. Year was you said this was 86?
Yeah.
So what year is this before Willow? What year was Willow? I thought, which movie was his first directorial movie? Ron Howard.
I don't know, honestly. Night Shift, maybe?
Okay. For some reason I always thought they said that
he didn't do Night Shift. It would have been Splash, wouldn't it? Splash would have been his first.
I didn't know he did Splash. Okay.
I mean, I'm thinking that would be, but I don't know.
Yeah, this was definitely one of the early ones, though.
Yeah, this is one of the ones like before he became like a real force or anything like that, like as a director. So like I said, there's some stuff in this they'd never do. For example, like, and this part I was like, God, this is kind of cringy even now. Like once the Japanese like leadership gets there or whatever, there's like this river that's out by the factory, and they like strip off all their clothes, and they're wearing like sumo outfits to get in and bathe in the fucking river, and all the like American auto workers are laughing at them and stuff. It's like they would never in a minute. And then like when they land, they've got all the kids from like Pittsburgh dressed up in like karate gis, and they're all like karate to impress them, like as like a welcome. It's like a lot of that stuff absolutely would not fly today.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, I looked Ron Howard
Yeah.
his direct, his filmography, he started at a very young age. So 1977, Grand Theft Auto was the very first
I'll
feature
bet
length
that was.
movie.
I bet that was that a Roger Corman movie? I bet it was.
Let's see. It was. He was an executive producer on it.
Yeah, because he started out with Corman.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, he did do Night Shift in '82, Splash in '84, Cocoon in '85. Dude, I don't know why I was thinking Willow was the first movie he directed. He did a lot
Yeah.
before then. Okay. Yeah.
I think the best part about this movie though is the performances from Michael Keaton. 100% Michael. This movie is basically like centered around Michael Keaton, and he does great. He carries the whole movie. And Geddy Watanabe's really good too. So I mean, they play off each other well.
Michael Keaton around this time period, man, had so many interesting like one-off roles
Yeah,
that of movies that you really don't. I don't know. A lot of people don't really talk about. But yeah, the mid '80s. I mean, he was also in Night Shift, like you mentioned before. Mr. Mom,
yeah,
The Squeeze. Of course, Beetlejuice, Clean and Sober, which I think is a pretty underrated movie. My dad
yep.
always used that as like, I don't know, for DUI and coping mechanisms or something like that. The Dream Team, I think, is kind of a
The Dream Team's highly underrated. Yeah,
yeah. And
what
then
a
of
cast
course,
that movie.
yeah. I mean, he did Batman, which was gigantic. I guess that was his mainstream, like big Hollywood movie. But yeah, even after that, like Pacific
Pacific
Heights.
Heights. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one to me that's like probably his most underrated movie. He's great in that.
Yeah. So he's a great actor. I've always liked Michael Keaton.
But I can't recommend this movie. It still works. Like it's a little bit dated on some of the stuff, the cultural stuff. But if you're like real sensitive to that shit, and I'm not, so I don't care. But like, it works as just a movie. Still to this day, it's entertaining and like it's well done and well made. So the special features are an audio commentary by film historians, Finding Common Ground, which is an interview with the actor Geddy Watanabe, which I actually watched, which was pretty good. It's a pretty long interview that like he goes into like detail about like what they were trying to do. A Big Old Movie, which is an interview with actor George Wendt on here. Yeah, I 100% recommend this movie. It still plays today. Some like what 40 years almost.
This was also a movie too that I think the last DVD of this was in the early 2000s. So this is also a Paramount release.
Yeah.
So it's the first time it's been in print in probably close to 20 years or
Yeah,
longer.
and I don't know if I mentioned this. This is another Kino title, though.
Kino Studio Classics, man. Good stuff. So the next one I'm going to do is like a twofer because these came out together. And we haven't, I don't know if we've really done proper reviews for these. Maybe we have. I don't know. We've done retrospectives on these before. But I will say this, and probably the only positive that I'll say about the Texas Chainsaw Platinum Dunes movies is
My God.
it did bring a new audience to Texas Chainsaw Massacre that probably otherwise would have never heard of Leatherface or Texas Chainsaw Massacre or anything. It was an insanely popular movie when it came out. There's no denying it. Mostly everybody knows how I feel about this movie. This, we'll get into them. Arrow Video did these 4K editions, which are fantastic, by the way. I will say that. The movies themselves, But if you're fans of these movies, these definitely are the definitive versions of both of these to own. Why do you think it took so long since they are popular movies, especially the first one, the 03 one, why didn't Warner Brothers do this themselves like years and years ago, like a special edition with special features and stuff?
It's a great question. I don't know the answer to it. Like, I mean, It is one of the few like major horror franchises. I don't know like what the rights issues were or like what was going on with that or like why Paramount didn't do it. They should have though. You're right. I don't think that I don't think any company's ever really had a lot of faith in these movies from what I've seen. Until recently. Like more recently they've like caught on as like, oh, like this can be a franchise, but like not up until probably the last 3 or 4 years.
Right. But anyway, we're going to get into these. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, directed by our good friend Marcus Nispel, and produced. And I think that was where the problem lies with these movies. Michael Bay.
Damn. Man.
What? Like, I think that's where these movies went wrong for me, just because it's set in 1973. We'll talk about the movie. They bring John Larroquette back to do pretty much the exact same introduction he did in the original film. And this time John Larroquette actually got paid. They did pay him. He never got paid for the original movie, if people don't know that.
Yeah.
So we see these Abercrombie and Fitch models that don't look like they're from 1973 at all. They're on the road to see a Leonard Skinner concert, right? While they're listening to a Leonard Skinner song that had not even been released in 1973.
Nobody could be bothered to look that up. That was
Sweet Home Alabama, I think.
5 minutes, yeah.
So yeah, they're just jamming down to their 8 tracks of futuristic records. And they're also smuggling some pot. And they stumble across a hitchhiker. This time the hitchhiker is a girl that hides a pistol in her snatch. And soon after they find out...
How did that work, by the way?
It wasn't one of those small pistols either.
No,
it wasn't
it's
like a little Saturday night special. It was...
It's like a 44 with like a 6-inch barrel. Like, I don't know how that... I mean, she was
loosened up quite a bit. Get that up in there. But quickly blows her brains out in the back seat. The guy that, like, aside from... Yeah, this is probably the guy I hate the most. Like, I don't know if he's supposed to be the Franklin character in it, but he's the guy with the glasses, and he's just a big pussy the entire movie. He's like, after she blows her brains out...
Let me tell you.
And they zoom out
right
from
now,
there.
too. That shot is, I've always hated that fucking shot, man. Like, just something about that is so ridiculous. They zoom out from her fucking the hole in her head or whatever. Anyway, continue on. I'm sorry. Anyway. I hate this movie. I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart.
Dude, I've always hated this movie too. But this movie, man, a lot of people love it. A lot of people. More people love it than hate it, I think. Wouldn't you agree?
I guess, although I could never figure out why.
Rambo even likes this movie.
I don't even like Arlie Ermy in this movie. Like, I think the thing that everybody always references is Arlie Ermey's performance. And I'm like, I think it's stupid. Like, I don't think he does good at all. I think he's like way over the top. He doesn't play it the right tone or anything like that. He's not believable at all with what he's saying. And not for 1 second do I believe this guy's crazy and doing like no.
Right. He's acting.
He's trying to act, but he's not doing a good job of it.
So, yeah, the most annoying group of teens possible in the history of film. They try to figure out what to do next. They go to this country store. They try to get a hold of the authorities. Eventually, they come across Sheriff Hoyt and ultimately what's like, well, I don't know, a couple dozen family members from his family. You get, what's his name? Uncle Nubby?
Uncle Nubbins, yeah.
Right. And Jessica Biel's in this. Jessica Biel's probably the only name in this, like Hollywood name.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they got her to do this, because she was a pretty big name even then. I mean, she's good eye candy for sure. She's got to help Uncle Nubby up from the bathroom floor for 15 minutes because he's trying to empty his bladder bag or whatever the hell it's called.
Doesn't she spill piss on him or something? He gets mad.
He gets mad, old Papa. Oh. At old Papa Nubby. And, you know,
I love the
it
fact
kind of
they
just
were
goes from there, right?
they were trying what they were trying to do was build a franchise around these characters too. You could tell like they wanted this to be like the original Texas Chainsaw where everybody like remembered all the characters and like they could turn that into something. And it's just like all the characters are just fucking awful and ridiculous.
Like, they do, it is chaos at that point. And that's kind of, there is chaos in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But the difference in this is you just don't care. You don't care about any of these people. Leatherface in this movie looks like fucking the basis from Mushroom Head, right? This
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
like
Somebody
shittiest
from
looking
Slipknot.
Leatherface. Yeah, Slipknot or Mushroom Head or Mudvayne or one of those new metal bands. I just did like I've never when we first watched this, I was like, God damn. And remakes were not a big thing when this came out either. Like this was like one of the innovators of remakes of this era, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. It definitely was in the top like couple that came out like that really kickstarted that whole thing too.
This looks like also what it reminded me of, and I wrote it down here. Halloween Horror Nights. This is a Halloween Horror Nights on film. That's basically
Yeah,
what
it's
this
like
movie
Spirit
looks
of
like.
Halloween if it existed on film.
Just generic.
Thing about it is too, like another thing, I gotta quit talking about this if we're like, I mean, I don't know if we're supposed to be promoting this movie, but like, I'm not here for that. I'll just tell
Well, we're
you.
promoting the 4K, and I will put the
Okay.
4K over, but we're just talking about the movie at this point.
Because I hate the mask too. It looks like a goddamn Frankenstein mask. Like I've always thought that. It doesn't look like a Leatherface mask. It looks like some goofy like if you took like somebody asked me in the early 2000s during that whole time period where like that new metal fucking
Oh, yeah.
power metal shit was pop and you were like design like a Frankenstein mask. That's what it would look like.
Yeah.
That's
Bad
it.
Mask. I've just, it is what it is. You got Rachel Dratch with the little baby at the end. You got the big fat tea lady, which I think, and I never did catch on to this. I'm thinking, and we'll get into that in the second one, that the tea lady is supposed to be Leatherface's mom. Did you ever catch that?
I had no
I
idea.
think so.
I don't think I could have cared less. I
But
really
she goes,
don't.
But yeah, at the end of this, like, you just don't care. I don't know of, there was all kinds of shots in this movie that they were thinking this is going to be great. People are going to be so impressed with this,
Well, the thing about it is, people in their late 20s and 30s, I would say there's quite a few of them that love this movie because they
Most
grew
of
up
them
probably.
do.
And I'm like, I'm just not that guy.
Well, hey, that's
Right.
the one thing that I will put it over for. And it's important to mention that this remake really introduced a whole new generation to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So if it did anything good, it would be that. And a lot of them checked out the original and the only, in my opinion, Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974. Andrew Bernarski is awful Leatherface as well. Not like would
he really
Leatherface. Here's the thing: if you were a fan of that original film, and somebody said to you, "Okay, Leatherface, in this new one, you're going to be using a goddamn sewing machine in this. You're going to be fucking pumping away at that sewing machine and making your masks with a freaking Singer sewing machine." I just don't get it. I don't understand. But it is what it is. I will put this 4K over. If you're a fan of this movie, this is the ultimate version to own. Arrow did a great job in this. This movie was never really meant to look good. This is as good as this movie will ever look. It's loaded up with special features, brand new interviews, featurettes, deleted scenes, stuff that was on the cutting room floor, if you will, making a Massacre documentary, tons of archival stuff as well. This thing is loaded. Okay. So if you are a fan of these two came out together. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. It's hard to believe it's been that long ago, 22 years ago. That just baffles me, man. That doesn't seem like it's that old, but it is. And the follow-up to that was in 2006. And Jonathan Liebesman, they got, and I think that he's as far as a filmmaker goes, a technical filmmaker, he is much, much better than Marcus Nispel. The 4K, and I'll say this real quick, of the beginning, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, which this was the prequel, and there's lots of problems with this too, but this is the better of the two movies ultimately. And it's in 4K, it just pops. It looks way better than the 03 version. And there are nods in this movie to the original. You can tell that Liebesman, at the very least, had seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre before and was a fan. So I'll at least give him that. But, man, this is... And I remember we were really early on doing the Dead Pit show at this time, too, because there was news coming out, and we were reading the news that was coming out on this. And we had heard that this is a prequel. It's called, has there ever been a prequel called The Beginning that was actually good? Just thinking that.
Has there ever been a prequel that was actually worth a shit? Like, within the last 20 years.
Psycho 4 The Beginning wasn't too bad.
That's not within the last 20 years, though.
Well, this is barely within the last 20 years. This is 19 years.
That's true. Listen, as much as I hate that first movie, I think that this movie is actually somehow worse.
I don't, man. I really don't. I don't think it's worse. I think, like, okay, it's painful as well, but at least it's a look. At
the
least
same shit, basically.
Well,
just like,
yeah. I mean, you find out how Uncle. I think his name is. What's his name? Uncle.
I don't give a shit what his name is.
Uncle Nubby. I can't never remember his name.
Nobody cares. Like, honestly, nobody should ever care.
But anyway,
I'm not ever learning these characters' names.
They go all the way back to 1939, and you see a very young tea lady losing her water and giving birth, squirting out Leatherface. You get to see that on screen, and they thought that would be a big.
That was one of the very first scenes, if I remember. And I remember watching it and being like, "We need to leave." Like,
but that was one of the selling points, though, too. Do you remember that? They were talking about it, like they were bragging about, "Oh, you're going to get to see Leatherface squirt out of his mama on film."
I remember them bragging about that, but just like the backstory.
They did. I'm pretty
sure
they
were all about backstory at this time period. This is the Halloween era backstory, this and that, about everything that happened when they were growing up and shit.
So yeah, this one's basically the events that led up to Texas Chainsaw 03. So a lot of the stuff, you know what to expect, right? You know who all's going to survive in it. So what they give you here, though, is, okay, Leatherface is Thomas Hewitt. I don't think that they gave him a name in the first movie. So you see Sheriff Hoyt call him, "Get him, Tommy! Get him!" Bulls. But yeah, he's working a local slaughterhouse and gets laid off. And the town is pretty much just closing up, right? And they don't want to leave the Hewitt family, boys. Charlie, I think, is what his name originally was. Arlie Ermey's character, who kills the real sheriff after the sheriff tries to take down Leatherface, or Tommy. And it's kind of following, like, just what led the family to be where they were at in the first movie. And there's also a couple of brothers and their girlfriends that are going on, kind of a cross country little road trip before the two brothers are going back to Vietnam, bulls. And there's even a scene between the two brothers. Man, Nam ain't all it's cracked up to be, dude.
Brother, listen,
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah. It was the
It's not gonna
summer
work
of
for me.
'69, though. Is this the one that Brian Adams was talking about?
Yeah, is this the one that has what's her name, man? She was one of the hottest, like underrated actresses. Diora Baird.
Yeah, she's one of the girlfriends. Diora
Yeah,
Baird and Jordana Brewster, who I always liked.
Lord, dude. Anyway,
What nationality, is Jordana Brewster, is she Latina or what is she?
she's Puerto Rican. I don't know. She's
don't
not
know.
Mexican. She's
I
Puerto
always,
Rican.
I always kind of had a thing for her, man, to be honest.
I don't know what nationality she is. To be honest,
Italian?
Italian. She kind of looks Italian. Yeah.
Possibly. So, yeah, they go on this little road trip before they have to go off to Vietnam, but little do they know, Uncle Bill, that there is a war on the horizon nearby. And they're in for it, boys. The younger brother,
Yeah.
I
They're in
had to
for it.
write this down because I can't remember. These characters are all generic.
You know who else is in for it? The audience.
The audience is
They're
in
in
for
for
it. Although, like I said, I think this one is just slightly better than the 2003 movie. But the younger brother, Dean, played by Taylor Handley, I think is his name, kind of pussies out on the war and burns his draft card, Uncle Will, which evidently that was a big no-no back in the day. A lot of people were doing it. And Eric is in this, Matthew Barry, or whatever the hell his name is, gets all pissed off. And they encounter the group of bikers. Do you remember the bikers? They bring them on as like almost a diversion
I do.
to get the family in there. And Sheriff Hoyt gets involved and starts picking on the boys. And I mean, it's not very plot driven, really. The girlfriends, Chrissy is Jordana Brewster's character, and Bailey, Deora Bard. This is also the one too where they bring in the nursery rhymes, like the old woman that I guess it's Hoyt's wife. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna shit you a fucking turd. Well,
Yeah, I remember that. It's awful.
oh God, get him, Tommy, get him. Uncle Monty was the guy's name. I was getting ready to call him Uncle Herschel, but I was like, I think that's the fucking guy from Cracker Barrel.
Really?
I think it's
Kill.
Uncle Herschel. But no, it's Uncle Monty. He lost his legs, and you get to see that happen, too. That's fun.
Plus, you need to know all this shit. Yeah.
There is a recreation of the dinner sequence. There's a couple of shots that's pretty much exact remake from the original movie, so it's kind of like, I mean, you could tell that at least Jonathan Liebesman knew what the original movie was, whereas Marcus Nispel, I'm pretty sure he never even watched the original movie.
That was the thing back then. Remember, like everybody was like they didn't even want to talk about the original or watching it. They were just like, I've got a new vision, and that's what we're going to do here. And that was the big.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we see how that worked out for all these movies.
Yeah. Also, they like John Larroquette does the outro in this, and dude, like,
Does he do it to the bass line from Night Court?
he should. He should. They love using annals of American history. One of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This movie certainly is in the annals of American history.
Something else. This was after Saul, right? So there were scenes in this that were pretty gruesome and brutal. So you could tell that this was the era of like the torture porn, hardcore gore, bone breaking. Like, I think there's a pretty brutal scene with Tommy breaking his boss's legs with like a sledgehammer and shit. So that was kind of gross. I don't like seeing that shit. But the 4K of this is fantastic. I definitely had to put that over. Of the two, this one looked the best in my eyes. And, there's tons of special features on this as well. If you're a fan of these movies, this is the ones to get. I think they're like $25 on Amazon right now. So they're fairly priced. Arrow's stuff for the price. I think Arrow and Kino both, they're very hard to beat with some of these releases that come out with and the price points and everything. But lots of archival stuff on here. There's some new fan commentaries on it, anatomy of a prequel featurette, theatrical trailers, deleted scenes, tons and tons of extra features on this one as well. As far as these Texas Chainsaw movies go, guys, hey, here's what I want to say. I don't like these movies. I'm not a fan of these movies. But if you are a fan of these movies, and odds are most of you guys are, you probably don't have a good edition of these. These are the best edition of both of these movies that's ever came out. Arrow does a fantastic job. And if you're a fan of these movies, this would be a high recommendation.
That's very nice. I like what you did there.
And they're out now! Get her, Tommy! Get her!
Get that bitch, Tommy!
God damn it, Tommy! You ruined the fucking door!
Let me ask you a question. If none, aside from Bill Moseley's performance in part 2, if none of the Texas Chainsaw movies ever existed, except for part 1, would we have really missed anything?
No.
Okay.
Nope. And this is the thing. I like some of those movies. I like Texas Chainsaw 2. I like Leatherface a little bit. I even like making fun of the Next Generation one in a way. And the Texas Chainsaw 3D. But ultimately, like, when I think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it is 100% always that original movie. Those other movies, I mean, to me, they're called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I don't really ever think of them. You know, that original film is the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre in my heart.
Right here. Right in the heart. Let's talk about a weird one. You want to?
Let's get spooky.
I don't even know what the hell how to describe this or what category this movie fits into, but like, I'm not even sure why I have it, to be honest, but I have it. And we're going to talk about it.
Let's do
1980s Xanadu.
Woo, baby.
The 4K edition from Kino Lorber. This is
Limited.
Olivia Newton-John in 1980s Xanadu.
Dude,
Which is a Killer Rush song too, by the way.
Yeah.
Xanadu.
I'll say this. I don't really know. I don't know jack shit about Xanadu, but Olivia Newton-John is one of the best looking women that's ever lived. I've always felt that.
While I was watching this movie, I'm not even exaggerating. There's like scenes in this where I was like, she was the hottest person alive at that point in time. Yeah. Like, there's no question.
Was she Australian?
Yeah, she was Australian.
What is it in the water over there, man? Like, I don't know if I've ever seen an ugly Australian woman. I'm sure they exist.
Like, nobody in 1980 looked like this woman. Like, this is like somebody that would be around like at this present time with like they had like plastic surgery and shit going. But anyway, best I can tell, and let me tell you, like, I tried to follow this movie. I really did. Like, I sat there and tried my best.
Wasn't there a gimmick with this though? Wasn't this like the biggest like box office bomb or one of the?
It was a huge bomb, and it was supposed to do really, really well, of course, because like it was a musical with Olivia Newton-John after Grease. Like, how could that like go wrong? And
Gene Kelly was still alive, right? His musicals was his thing.
Yeah, it was like, how could this fuck up? But man, I'll tell you how here in a minute. So this movie also directly led to the creation of the Raspberry Award. I don't know if you knew that or not, but this is the movie that inspired the creation of that, to recognize like the worst films of the year. So, I mean, that kind of tells you.
Well, that's pretty legendary then. The Raspberries are still going on.
Yeah. So, I mean, nowadays, this movie is seen as like a cult classic, but I don't know. So, best I can tell, like I said, I tried to focus on this and watch it. So, the lead character is a guy by the name of Sonny, who is like, he draws like comic books and graphic novels and things like that in present day Los Angeles. And he's a failure. He's struggling. Like, he's got like a loft that he sketches everything out in. And one day he's like sketching all this stuff out, and he just gets pissed off and tears up one of his sketches that's like this fantasy piece, and he throws it out the window, and like it's like one of those scenes in an 80's movie where the wind carries it off into
Right.
like this alternate like dimension,
It's
basically.
like Forrest Gump.
Yes, basically like that. But it lands in like this alternate dimension where there's like these sisters, and they're all like on roller skates and things like that. And one of them is Olivia Newton-John, who stops by his loft and is basically roller skating around this fucking loft. The most 80s scene you can ever like imagine. She's roller skating around, kind of like teasing him, I guess, in a way, about who she is and why she's there and all that stuff. And then she just kind of disappears. So now he's like obsessed, of course, trying to figure out like who this person is and what's going on. And then the rest of this movie, and I'm not really exaggerating, that's about as much of a plot as there is in this movie. So it's just him trying to catch up with her while she goes through all these different set pieces and dance numbers. And so like Gene Kelly comes in, and like they have a dance number, which is not very good. I have to like tell you, like it's a tap dance number, and I'm like, he's too old to be doing this shit now. Like you can clearly tell, like I don't know if Olivia Newton-John even knew how to tap dance really before this, but like you can tell that it's very awkward, and they probably did it 1,000 times. Like,
Okay,
to get it
so
right.
Gene Kelly was born in 1912. So how old would he have been in 1980?
If he was born in 1912, it'd be 68.
Okay. So he wasn't like, I mean, he was old for sure, but
Yeah,
it seems like
I mean,
he should have been older, but I mean, he died like 30 years ago. So
yeah. So his role in this, from what I can remember, is he's like a big band guy who wants to like. So whenever he comes in, you're going to get like an old style big band dance production number, or with either like tap dancing or like a bunch of jazz kind of like dancing and singers and shit like that. So that's his gimmick. And then every now and then also like Olivia Newton-John's gimmick is she'll throw in some weird ass fantasy style kind of like song and dance routine. And it's the combination of that where I think they were trying to like please everybody, and it pleases no one. Like none of it works. Zero of these dance numbers are, like, to me anyway, like I'm sure there's like an audience for this. It is a cult classic, but like it's probably a cult classic in the same way as a lot of really bad movies are, where it just finds like a niche of people who like that kind of thing and like, really bad films, because it, from on every level that they were trying to go for, fails, except
yeah.
for Olivia Newton-John, who I don't give a shit what she was doing around that time period. You want to watch her do it.
Right.
Like,
Didn't Grease come out like was it the same year or around that time?
I think Grease came out in the 70s, 78
I'm not
or
sure.
9.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe
I was
it
never
did.
like a huge Grease fan, to be honest, but
Michael
I'm pretty
Beck
sure
was
it came out
also in this from the Warriors. So this is like his follow up from, and everybody, I guess, they loved his performance in the Warriors. But yeah, it's probably like after this, I don't think he ever did really anything that mainstream again, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm not
No,
super familiar with anybody else in this movie.
it's rough, man. I mean, it's just one of those movies that's really,
But it's
really,
in 4K. How
It
did
is
the
in
4K
4K.
look?
The 4K is like super, how do I say this? Like, not, I guess defined is the word I'm looking for. Like the color scheme is very dark, but if you watch it on, that's most 4Ks. If you watch it on HDR style like television, that has that capability. Like it's very defined, very crisp, like completely works. If you're not watching it on that TV, it's going to look like shit. On that style TV, it's going to look like shit. Like it's also got a Blu-ray in it though. So I mean, if you don't have that kind of capability, I'd watch the Blu-ray. I
Yeah,
really
that's the
would.
good thing about a lot of those Kino releases is they are Blu-rays and 4Ks, most of them. So I really do appreciate that because a lot of these companies aren't doing that anymore. They'll release the
Yeah.
Blu-rays separate from the 4Ks. So, but yeah,
But
this.
the end dance number where you find out what Xanadu is and all that stuff and all like the magic and the mythology element to it is insane. I'll say that. I'll give it that.
Xanadu. I love the cover there too. What kind of
That's a
special
great cover.
features they got there?
So special features on this one include audio commentary by the director and three more commentaries by it looks like film historians.
God damn, boy. That's a lot of
Vintage
commentaries.
1980 sizzle reel, newly mastered in 2K. Going back to Xanadu, a 2009 documentary with the entire cast and crew, and then TV spots. Yeah, I mean, I don't like I said, I'm not sure. I just wanted to see what this movie was about because I'd always heard about it and never seen it. But like, this is not my bag. There's a lot of people whose bag this will be, and this is the definitive edition of this to get from Kino Lorber. So I 100%, if you like it, would recommend this version. If you're just like, hey, I want to check it out, and you're going into it blind, I don't know, man. How much do you like Olivia Newton-John?
I
Is
mean,
the
that's the
first
thing.
question.
Like, it's almost like a hypnotic cover there
Yeah,
with the lovely Olivia Newton-John where she's like, you know you want to buy me.
she's bewitching you with her
Buy,
eyes.
buy
Come
me
on,
right now.
buy me,
See
you
me in
bitch.
4K.
I'm Australian. You know I'm hot.
I'm the
Come on.
1980 version of Olivia Newton-John,
I'm with the
A-
bushwhackers.
aka the sexiest damn woman that ever lived.
Look here, I'm floating into your home. Oh, here I come.
Don't you want to dream about what it smelled like back then?
I bet it was lavender or something killer.
So, we're going to keep that Kino Lorber Studio Classics train running, Uncle Bill, because, dude, they have had, like, August was an insane month for releases, and we still have more. Like, I think I've got them stacked over here somewhere, like, more of these Kino releases that are probably going to have to wait until September. But this is another 4K Blu-ray. And this is an odd one to have in 4K. Coneheads.
I
Young
can't wait till you
ones.
talk about this.
Parental units. We summon you. Dude, okay. So I had seen this in a movie theater back in the day, right down the road here at the Strand Twin. And as a kid, I loved it, right? I was 13 or 14 or whenever this
I
came
did
out.
too. Oddly.
I love this movie. And there's parts of it still to this day that I love and I'm nostalgic for. And I think that's hilarious. You know, a lot of stuff that they probably wouldn't do today. But the more that I thought about it as I was watching this movie, and this was based off of Saturday Night Live skits from the 70s, right? It was the 70s, right?
Yeah. It's like the original cast, I think.
I don't know. I guess they were like Wayne's World was a big hit, and they were looking at other skits from Saturday Night Live that they could do feature length movies on. Coneheads is a weird one to do. Steve Barron is the director who, just a couple of years before this, did the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 1990, which Arrow's coming out. I'm sure we'll be taking a look at that in the coming months ahead.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. So yeah, this was kind of a weird one to rewatch, and it's a movie that you never see or hear much of anything about. I don't know if you've noticed that, but nobody, like, you don't see it on TV.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so I don't know what the deal is with that, but again, yeah, based on the 1970s Saturday Night Live skits, the Coneheads are Beldar and Primat, which is played by Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin. Man, how many movies did Jane Curtin do? She couldn't
Not
have done
many.
many.
I don't
Well, this-
remember her in any of them, really. Like,
I don't recall. But they've crashed to Earth from the planet Ramulok, and
Yeah.
Beldar, Dan Aykroyd, quickly becomes popular. He's a popular mechanic working for Sinbad, Uncle Bill, the actor Sinbad. I don't know what they call him in this. Who decides, because he's worried about tax purposes and everything. And this is kind of funny because it gets him a new ID. And Adam Sandler is the guy that gets him he's like the undercover, trashy sort of guy that gets the illegal IDs and everything. Donald R.D. Chico. Do you remember that? That's the fake.
Kinda, yeah.
And the identity, and here's the thing, this is kind of almost topical now, interestingly enough, because that fake identification was flagged from immigration as being fake. So they're on to Beldar. And the immigration guys, Michael McKean and David Spade in this. So you're full of like old Saturday Night Live characters throughout this. Chris Farley's in this as well. Around the halfway point in this movie, I mean, the whole plot kind of is the immigration people are after. They think that they're from another country, not another planet. And around the halfway point, I think there's some funny stuff. Primate's pregnant and her water breaks and it's like a fucking shit ton of water. And there's a lot of gross shit, like Beldar is biting the fucking umbilical cord. And there's some fun stuff, like I think their daughter's name, Connie Conehead. Kind of follow her a little bit. There's some funny stuff happens there, whatever. But around the halfway point in this movie, you really, the gimmick gets old.
I haven't watched this since I was a kid, but like, I can imagine that it probably would get old quick now, especially like trying to watch it as an adult. It's more like the humor in it seems more like for teenagers to me.
It is. It really like struggles. Like I don't think this was a really good idea for a feature length movie. But I mean, I understand this was like, hey, this is a popular segment on Saturday Night Live for sure. But there's some fun stuff in this. I do enjoy it up to a point, but there is a point in this movie, especially when they go back to their home planet, during the middle, like a little bit past the midway point, they go back to Remulac, and you're like, oh, damn, man, like, what the hell? And there's a lot of cameos in this, too. That's kind of fun. Jason Alexander, Joey Lauren Adams is in this, a very young Parker Posey, Phil Hartman, Tim Meadows is in this, Ellen DeGeneres, Drew Carey. So tons of cameos, so that's kind of cool. But, dude, Coneheads, I thought that this was a very interesting choice for 4K. I'll give them credit. Dude, they're putting out whatever they get in 4K. I wonder if this even had a Blu-ray before. I don't really know.
Hold on, I'll check.
This is one of those movies that, and I love that they use the original artwork. I remember the original artwork, and I remember the movie being way better than it actually was. But, it's fine for what it is. If you want some 90s nostalgia, you're not seeing a Blu-ray.
No, I don't. It just doesn't have any information about physical media on here.
They do have an audio commentary with the director, Steve Barron, and film historian, I didn't notice this until just now, Michael Felcher.
You got to be kidding me.
No, we got to ask him about this.
We've got to. There's no way. That's going to be on the next,
I would have fucking
show.
I would have listened to it. I didn't even really pay attention. I just saw the director was on there, but film historian Michael Felcher.
100% we'll be listening to that, like, and ask him about it.
Yeah.
I tell you something I didn't know until right now because I was looking this film up. I didn't realize it was a bomb for some reason. I mean, that makes sense, but like,
Yeah, it did. I don't think it did very well. Yeah.
it had a $21 million. No, I'm sorry, it had a $30 million budget, but it only made $21 million.
No.
So,
Consuming mass quantities, an interview with actress Michelle Burke, who did play Connie Conehead.
Connie Conehead.
Yes, Connie Conehead. A Gerloff Nort fled an interview with monster creator Phil Tippett. Extended vintage interviews with Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, Michelle Burke, Lorne Michaels, and Steve Barron. Vintage EPK and behind the scenes footage, theatrical trailers, and TV spots. It's Coneheads. And the whole immigration thing, it's interesting because that's a big topic again. And that's, I guess it was kind of a big thing then too. But yeah, that was kind of like the tongue-in-cheek thing. Hey, they're thinking that they're from fucking, I don't know, Guadalajara City or whatever, and they're in the U.S. illegally. But they're really from another planet. So Coneheads is out now. Kino Lorber, it's part of the Studio Classics line. This company is burning it up in 2025. Tons of releases. Most of them are in 4K. An interesting one for 4K, though.
So I don't think we've ever done a more significant shift in tone than we're getting ready to do right now.
We try to one-up ourselves on every show, though.
Yeah. So we're going from Coneheads to the Night Train murders from Severin.
Never, as I'm willing to bet, nobody on YouTube has ever done those back-to-back
Nope.
before. This is a first.
So I'm not even sure how much of this I can show on here. I'll make sure the front cover is all right.
There ain't
Back
titties
covers-
on there. You got to be careful.
No, there's
with
nothing.
titties.
There's no titties on there.
All right.
We're good. So Severin's release. This is the new Severin release of. Let me make sure the front part's okay too. Yeah, the 4K edition of Night Train Murders. So yeah, take a look at this. Are you going to
Take a
zoom in
look
on
at
this?
it,
I'm going
baby.
to beat the shit out of you. Come
Oh,
on.
yeah. But you know, hang on a second. Show the whole thing there. There we go.
I'm going to. Okay, so this is the actual like inside 4K of the Night Train Murders, and then this is the lovely Severin slipcase, which is actually pretty killer. I love that
Yeah, they're
cover and the mat.
They do a great job with their cardboard lately. I got to put them over.
Yeah. Aldo Lotto, baby, who is a very well-known Italian filmmaker, directed this. This is an Italian film.
Very first time in 4K.
Very first time. And let me just say, it's known by a couple of different titles. Last Stop on the Night Train is one title. That's the Italian title, as well as the Night Train Murders, which is the English title.
A lot of comparisons to Last House on the Left.
There's not even it's a direct fucking ripoff of Last. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you watch this movie and you're like, I don't see it. Like, the only difference is they put it on a train. Like, it's as if somebody in Italy saw The Last House on the Left. They're like, you know what we should do? Let's make a direct remake of this, but we'll put it on a train.
Going on a night train.
I don't understand, other than just like trying to mix it up enough to where it confused people. But like, I'm telling you, this is a direct like copy. So I'll go ahead and give you the plot and you can tell me like what you think. So it's a story of two young women that are on an overnight train to go to visit their parents for Christmas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When three hoods, two guys and one older woman they're all kind of like petty criminals, board this train and they start trying to like hit on them, all this stuff. And they get, rebuked. They don't want anything to do with them. But then like progressively, as they like try to get away from them, they start to stalk them. And then they catch up with them. And the woman is telling them to do all this kind of like stuff to them, to the girls, and the guys are doing all this stuff, including stuff I couldn't tell you on here.
You definitely couldn't show it.
No, let's just say that like some of it is worse than any of the stuff that like happens in Last House. And significantly worse in one scene that I can think of. So you just imagine that for a second. It's a lot of sexual kind of sadist stuff that goes on in here. But so this is the real kicker. So you've already got that going on. The real like tie-in comes when they all like arrive, but the girls are murdered, right?
Violently.
But and they steal their luggage and all of their stuff, but then like of course waiting at the station are the parents of one of the girls. They meet them and they decide, hey, like we should take you back to our house for Christmas. And guess what happens?
Right.
They take them back there and then they find a tie that they know that like one of the girls bought for their father. And then they figure out who they are and start to kill them. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We reviewed this. I don't know if we reviewed this on the show, but like, because I watched it again. I was on one of Dirk's shows. It may have been one of the very early Eurocrypt podcasts.
Yeah.
But they were doing the comparison between Last House and Night Train Murders. And we had watched that at one time before on something else. I don't know if you had the DVD of it. But yeah, I definitely remember it. And it's got some really effective stuff in it, on the train especially. But yeah, towards the end of the movie is a little bit too much of a total ripoff of Last House, I think.
It is, but there's like, I remember Dirk or somebody saying that they like this movie better than Last House. And I'm like, I mean, you're essentially watching the same movie. I guess like if you just like Italian films,
right,
just in general more, then yeah, I get that.
The Italian.
I mean, let me say this though, if you are into exploitation style films, especially like Italian exploitation, then you will love this movie. This is like, there's no way you wouldn't like this movie. It's basically just it's like if the Italians did Last House on the Left, which they kind of did already, but that movie was what was the name of that movie that also had The
House on the Edge of the Park.
House on the Edge of the Park, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but this is like even more that. So, The Night Train Murders is an enjoyable film, even though I'm a good person. I just want to make that clear.
And it's as clear as it'll ever look. I'm about positive.
Oh my God, dude. Like this transfer is insane. Well, all of Severin's 4Ks for some reason, especially like, shot on film movies from like the 80s. There's something about that when they go in and they remaster these that looks better than almost anybody else. There's just a couple of companies, like you got Synapse, you got Vinegar Syndrome, and you got like Second Sight, where like when they do the transfers to these movies, they're actually doing something. Like they're not just running them through some sort of like process or something. Like people seem to know what they're doing with these. And this is like a perfect example. This is amazing. This is the worldwide 4K premiere of this movie too, by the way. I don't know if that was mentioned. But special features on this disc include the audio commentary with the director, which is killer. The audio commentary with Ultraviolet Magazine. You remember this guy? Art Edinger.
Yep.
And Cinema Arcana's Bruce.
Is Ultraviolet still around? Magazine?
I don't know. I have no idea. Disc 2, which is the Blu-ray, has an interview with the director, interview with the actress Macha Morel, interview with the actor Gianfranco De Grassi, interview with actress Irene Miracle. Irene Miracle who is in this movie too, was the lead in Dario Argento's Inferno.
It's a miracle, a sight to see. Oh, the way she rubs on me.
Come on now, she is crazy. She's a nut. And she's gonna get a knife to the butt. Rolling on the night train. Rolling like a never play. So, last special feature on here, though, is Night Train Murders and something women. Power of Pleasure and the Subversion of Morality. Video essays. Okay. There's also, I don't get fucking video.
You gonna
essays.
watch video essays?
No,
Hell
that I hate that stuff.
Yeesh.
Disc 3 is the soundtrack CD.
Hell yeah.
So there you go.
You're gonna go rolling down the streets of Martin and blast that shit.
I guarantee nobody has ever done that. 100%.
That could be another first.
If you want to take a look at the inside of it, though, look there. Look at that.
Yeah. Do they have any alternate cover art on it?
That's a good question. Hold on.
Severin sometimes does that, I think.
Oh God, they do.
Woo!
Make sure I can show this. I can't show that.
Oh,
All right, so let's just say
the X-rated
I'm going
artwork
to turn
on the
that
other
over
side.
because that's the cover that I am going to be using from now on.
Yeah. X-rated, though. There's probably some bushy stuff in that. If I'm willing to
I can't show you none of that. I'm sorry.
bet. All right.
But that is Severin's Night Tremors. But I guess I should have mentioned that the soundtrack. So you get all this stuff, right? You get all this 4K, but the soundtrack is also done by Morricone. So
That's odd. That's like
that
one
is
you
very
wouldn't
odd.
think. Yeah. So yeah, since we're just talking about Severin and they've got a gigantic hard on for this filmmaker, and this is not going to be a long review, guys, just because I want to be very honest with you. Like, this was a very difficult one to get anything out of. This is a Jess Franco movie, and it's one from 1972, a very, I guess, earlier one. And this is number 34 from the Kino Cult line, Kino Lorber. It's The Vengeance of Dr. Mabuse, a.k.a. The Vengeance of Dr. Mudbutt, baby. So,
You never escape Dr. Mudbutt.
the
Ain't no
legacy of
chance.
Dr. Mudbutt.
Can't get away from the Mudbutt.
Oh, gosh. And, pretty good artwork here. I'll give him credit here, showcase it for you guys. I kind of like the artwork. It almost looks like a Frankenstein character is looking over the woman in distress. Yeah. And this is a movie, to be fair, that's very difficult to find before. So this is definitely a cult title. Like, I guess only in my opinion, the most hardcore Jess Franco fans would want this. And I'll tell you why, man. Jess Franco, 180 directorial credits. He was cranking stuff out. Insane amount of movies every year of his life. And this is even a retread on a movie that he did previously. And he did much better, called the Awful Dr. Orloff. And evidently, the Dr. Mabuse movies was like a early film thing from Fritz Lang in like the 20s. So there's a bunch of different Dr. Mabuse tales and stories and shit. And this is known as one of the worst.
Dr. Mabuse.
Dr. Mudbutt.
Dr. Mudbutt.
And I'll briefly go through it here because this is in German. This is not an awfully exciting movie anyway. There's a couple of good-looking ladies in it, but from what I could see, they didn't bear it all like I usually get in Jess Franco movies. So it may have been a little bit before, that era of Franco. But basically, Dr. Mabuse in this, played by Jack Taylor, abducts ladies with the assistance of his disfigured servant, Andros, played by, I don't know if that's how you pronounce this or not, but it looks like it's Moises Augusto Rocha.
Locha.
Hello, Moses. In order to subject them to a powerful ray to create an army of zombies, robots.
A virtual army of the undead.
It's an extremely cheap looking movie, bad makeup effects. HD is not really for movies like this. But if you're a hardcore fan of Jess Franco, and I would only recommend this as like completist stuff, just to have it. Hey, I collect Jess Franco movies. This is another one of the 180 movies that he did. I'd recommend it for those people, but as far as an entertaining film, it's 80 of the longest minutes that I've ever spent trying to watch a movie. I did not enjoy this. This is not really my thing. I wish that they would have done dubs for these movies. As a matter of fact, so this is German language, right? It looks like they're speaking English in it, but it's dubbed in German. And the story is this never played in Germany. It was never released on home video in Germany. And the only German release of any sort of this movie was it aired on TV a few times. Aired on German TV. So it's a very obscure movie. I mean, it's one of those that was maybe lost but never should have been found. But Kino found it. Hey, if you're a fan, a completist of Franco, it is The Vengeance of Dr. Mabuse. There is one audio commentary on it with Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson. That is the lone special feature because basically everybody associated with this movie is probably dead. So it's from 1972. So yeah, unless they were a little kid in it, I mean, they're probably either like, in the nursing home or already dead. But I don't know who you'd interview from it. But yeah, that one came out recently. Kino Cult
Jesus Christ.
34. I'm not a fan of it. It's not that good. But Kino does a wonderful job. And yeah, some bright, colorful covers there. The Kino Cult line is a lot of fun. They do have in September, Uncle Bill, Ilsa, the She-Wolf of the SS in 4K.
That's a must buy. That's a must buy for me. Yeah. Yep. That's a classic. I can't believe they're releasing that.
In 4K.
Considering how the climate of today.
Fucking 4K. I give them credit, man, releasing stuff like that.
So I'm excited about this next one because this is actually like a full box set that is an amazing presentation, man. Like I love when they do these sets like this. I don't even give a damn what it's for. They always look badass.
Oh yeah, they do a great job.
But this is High Tension 4 films by Lamberto Bava. And I don't know why, but like something about the way they design these sets is outstanding every time. Mm-hmm. So you've got like the movie titles on the side. This is from Severin, of course. And you got the front, which is just a badass like cover. And it's a top loader kind of thing where you open it. And then it's got like the movies all kind of neatly put in there like that. Perfect.
All the artwork is pretty phenomenal in all these too.
Yeah, we're going to go through them. We're going to go through each one of them. Like not in great detail, but I'll give you a synopsis of the ones I liked and the ones that I did not like of the ones here.
Sure.
Because this is a mixed bag for me, man. I'm not going to lie. Like these, and I didn't realize this until I got this and I was going through it, but this is a series of Lamberto Bava's made for TV movies that he did around the 90s. And a lot of these were deemed like too gory and gruesome to be like played on, and they were kind of buried in obscurity and were incredibly rare.
That was like kind of a common thing in Italy too. Like a lot of these Italian horror directors would make these gory ass like movies for television, and none of them would ever air on television, or they would cut the hell out of it.
Yeah. I don't know why that is or like what that was about, but yeah. So let's start off with, I guess, like one of my favorites. Actually, probably my favorite of the whole thing, and you'll find out why once we get into it. Check out these covers too, man. Like I think you'll like each one of these. This is The Prince of Terror from 1989.
Ooh.
And the cool thing about this one is that this is kind of breaking the fourth wall before like anything with Scream happened or anything. This is about a famous horror filmmaker that is terrorized by a screenwriter, and it is like a home invasion style thriller, like Last House on the Left. But the twist in this is that both the invader and the people like being in the house that are like being invaded are using like their knowledge of horror films and like the what do you call them, like cliches and things like that to like get one over on each other. So this is an incredibly gory movie too, by the way, especially for like something that's supposed to be made for TV. The whole ending thing with like there's like something about Italians and eyeball related gore gags, but that's in there. Golf ball related shit's in there. It's actually pretty good. Like, and especially if you're a fan of like gore Italian style films, and that plot is actually pretty solid for that time period too.
And
I guess
most
I
of
could,
these as well had never really gotten any sort of home video release before. Is that correct?
yeah, they were just in obscurity, man. Like, I don't even think that they
Right.
got like releases on anything before this.
So they've been doing a lot of Lamberto
Yeah,
Bava stuff.
to give you an idea, like on the back of this one, this says the worldwide disc premiere. So, like, this is the first time
Okay.
this has ever been out on anything.
Yeah. So maybe, I mean, it could have been on VHS or something years and years ago, but yeah, the first time on modern media for
Yes.
certain.
So this one alone is probably worth this set, I think. But if you've never seen it or like have no idea about these movies or anything, special features are an audio commentary with Nathaniel Thompson, Troy Horwath, The Adventure of Anfrey, interview with director Lamberto Bava on High Tension. We call him Maestro, Lamberto Bava on The Prince of Terror. So that is that one. The next one I was not a huge fan of, but I think this was the first one of this set that I watched, and that is School of Terror. Or, I'm sorry, School of Fear.
School of Fear.
Kind of like School of Rock, except an Italian murder mystery, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's from 1989.
The
It's
Giallo?
No, it's not Giallo. Not really, no. This is an evil kids movie at the heart of it. It's about like this woman takes over this class like mid-term at this academy for rich kids, basically. And she's not really getting the story straight about like how her predecessor disappeared mysteriously. So she keeps interrogating all the kids in this class because she knows something is up and they just act really, really weird. And she knows there's something going on, but they always are like one step ahead of her and they keep like, you know, being able to hide like what's really happening. The problem is this movie is really fucking slow. And nothing really happens in this movie
Now,
for like long.
are all
periods.
these movies, are they dubbed at all or are they all subtitled?
This one was dubbed. So I would say that they're also like subtitled as well. Yeah. English, Italian with optional English subtitles is what it says.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it, for a killer kids movie, this should be better. It's just too like Lifetime movie. That's the best way I could describe it. Like it's very much like that and very kind of like paced that way and shot that way. And the cinematography's not great either. This was not one of my favorites, but it does have the Tale of Evil Children interview with the director Lamberto Bava, Play the Game interview with the screenwriter, When Bava Met Boswell interview with composer Simon Boswell, which I did not know that was the guy that did the music for this, but the Boswell bonus disc,
The Boz is back.
the Boswell bonus disc is the CD of the music. So there's that. And then we've got
So you got a total of, you're just halfway through. You got 4 discs. In
4
this.
discs. This, my co-host friend, is the Giallo of the bunch.
Oh, so I'm your co-host now, huh?
Yeah, you're my co-host for right now.
You can eat my ass then.
You can eat my butt with a bowl full of bologna. This is the only real solid like Giallo of this bunch, but this is one. It's a story of a blind witness to a murder. How many times has that shit been done, by the way? that's been targeted by a killer.
And you know for real that's never happened ever. Like, they ain't no
No, it
blind
won't.
people can't witness shit. What they gonna fucking do?
That's right.
Let's be real. How they gonna witness a damn murder?
Well,
Unless somebody tells them what it is, they can't see nothing.
yeah, it's true. But she hears. This is the thing. The lead, Elisa, hears and witnesses in that way a violent sexual assault and murder in this movie. Okay. So, but
Violence and sexiness, baby.
this is definitely a giallo that has like a killer in it that has like a kink for grape, strangulation, and then self-flagellation, like beating himself up after he does his murders. So it does have a really interesting climax around the lead, which is really good. It's got like a lot of sleazy style giallo kills and stuff like that in it. It's kind of like, you remember that movie we reviewed, Mute Witness?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, except
Better.
it probably is. It probably is a little bit better. Yeah.
Hopefully it is. Yeah. It's
this
interesting that they're doing the artwork in that style, though. Like,
Yeah.
and these are 1990s, you said, movies, right?
Well,
it's
they're late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, all of them. Seem to
Okay.
be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's almost
So,
like,
like-
they're going for that style, though, too. Like almost
Yeah,
like the early 90s.
They definitely are.
Video
So this is the
style.
worldwide disc premiere of this one, and the special features are audio commentary with Nathaniel Thompson, Troy Horwath, The Last Giallo, interview with director Lamberto Bava, Love is Blind, interview with actress Barbara Capisti.
Could Nathaniel Thompson and Troy Howarth do anything else?
No, that's all they can do.
Like, they do
That's all they
commentaries
do,
for
apparently.
literally every studio, too.
And finally, last but I guess not least, this is kind of like my middle of the road one, I guess. I don't know if I care that much about it or not, but like The Man Who Wouldn't Die.
That almost sounds like an old school, like a 50s horror movie or something.
1989. This is a more like a crime movie than it is anything. It's not really a horror film per se. So centers around like a thief who is left for dead by his own gang and then wants revenge. That's basically the plot of the movie, really. It's really unpleasant to watch in a lot of ways. It starts off with a home invasion sequence that's also unpleasant, which is weird because these are like I said, made for television movies at that time.
But made
it
for
has-
television in Italy is different than
That's
made
true.
for television in the U.S. They could probably get away with a little bit more.
It is much more of the exploitation film than anything else of this bunch of films, too.
The Man Who Wouldn't Die.
I mean, it's fine. It's a little, I don't know, a little too goofy.
Sounds like maybe your least favorite in the set.
No, I think if I'm being honest, School of Fear is probably my least favorite. That was just,
School of Fear is no good.
it's just so slow, man, and so like hard to get through. And there's not really a great payoff for it. But this one's like probably the second.
I think it's very cool, though, that Severin is releasing some of these titles that, for hardcore fans of Italian horror and everything, that people have never seen, really. I mean, I would imagine you would have to be kind of a mega fan to even known some of these movies exist. So as far as like I guess the mantra that Vinegar Syndrome started with, Severin is really the company that's moving forward with it,
Yes.
right?
Yes, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah.
And Vinegar Syndrome is being left a little bit in the dust, releasing some of these Hollywood movies, and
Yep.
they're kind of going a different direction.
They've not learned anything, and they're basically making the Anchor Bay mistakes like by the book is what they're doing. And Severin is carrying on and probably making a fortune doing this. Not that Vinegar Syndrome isn't. It's just like this is a better route for, I think, those companies. Okay. Special features on this one, though, are interview with director Lamberto Bava, Stephen King Italian-style interview with Dardano Sacchetti, who you might recognize.
Italian style.
There's like 1,000 Italian films that he's done, like horror films.
Dardano.
Okay.
Cry for me, Argentina.
Anyway, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's it though. Like in terms of the films. So here's the thing. Like I was sitting here thinking, like,
Box set, boys.
if you're somebody like Dirk, you 100% would have to buy this because like it's got like crime style Policioteca films like this that like you've never seen because this is the disc premiere of this one too, and it's got.
I'm
like,
sure Dark already has this.
Yeah, this is like a great mixture of different themes. You've got like your Last House film, you got your exploitation film, you got your Killer Kids film, and then you've got like your really like kind of aware Scream style film in this too. So yeah, man, like I recommend this set 100%. Love the packaging, love the idea, love the fact that it's like just releasing a lot of these discs.
Very cool. So yeah, show the whole package up there again,
Oh,
a big box. If people want to grab this, the high tension 4 films of Lamberto Bava. It's the made for TV movies in Italy. Odds are you haven't seen these at all, and I'm sure they're all cleaned up and looking.
They're
wonderful.
man, like it's weird because mostly they don't look like that kind of style, right?
There's a soundtrack CD, I think it said on there too, or something, right?
Is there a sound? Oh yeah, that's what I talked about on the
You
one
can
disc.
boogie
The
down
bonus,
to it.
the bonus Boswell Ball, the soundtrack CD. Yeah, Simon Boswell. These are all like made for Italian television, but like several of them don't look like that at all. Like a couple of them do, but several of them look like real films, and I'm sure they probably were shot on 35 millimeter too at that time. But dude, I don't know what the hell Severin does to clean these things up, but it's outstanding.
Very cool. So the next one I want to take a look at is actually a DVD, and I've got a bit of a setup.
I can't
for
wait
this.
to hear this.
I've got a bit of a setup for this, man, because and we can kind of hype this too, because this Sunday is the Cruel Summer Slashback well, it's the season finale for this year. And we're covering a couple of these kind of movies. So I was kind of nostalgic for that and requested this. So these movies were commonplace in the bargain bins at Walmart back in the day. Basically like low grade, like Z movie ripoffs of popular slasher movies from the time. Final Stab and Do You Want to Know a Secret? These are the two that we're taking a look at on Friday, or on Sunday, I'm sorry.
Yep.
But I heard about this and saw this, and it just reminded me of those movies. So I was like, we don't get a whole lot of that anymore. Can you send me a copy of this? This is Cleopatra Entertainment, and it's Fear Cabin, The Last Weekend of Summer, Uncle Bill.
Oh.
And this is technically from 2024, this movie. And you're reading a synopsis on the back. You're like, okay, yeah, this is very much like a lot of those B movies that flooded the bargain bins and just, used shops 20 years ago. Sounds a lot like it. It doesn't hit as hard as those, but we'll talk about it. I mean, it's a very basic plot with this one. Fear Cabin is directed by Brian Cranston, no relation to Cranston. It's Cranston. A group of friends decide to spend the last weekend of summer in a remote cabin in the woods. Wonder what could happen to them, Uncle Bill. I wonder.
Nothing bad, I'm sure.
Brad is the lead actor, who's also played by the director. You got to love that. Brian Cranston, who is kind of like the head honcho douche guy, who just wants nothing more than a weekend of poontang and beer and partying with his buddies. There's 6 total, I think, of these supposed, I don't know if they're supposed to be teens. There may be 2 of them that look like they're under 30 years old. Most of them look 35, 40 years old. Only known actor in this is Jason London,
Oh
who
God.
I haven't heard from in many years. He and his brother Jeremy did a few. I can't remember which brother did what.
I can't
but
either.
like,
One did like Dazed and Confused. One did Mallrats,
yeah,
or maybe the same one did, but I don't know. I can't remember.
Rage Carry 2, one of them was in that. They haven't been in anything in many years. And the makeup they have poor Jason London wearing this is so atrocious and awful. He's supposed to be playing a much older man. He's kind of like the landlord or the the Airbnb cabin or whatever that they're renting. He's like this creepy guy, supposedly. He's barely in it. They probably shot his stuff in a day.
Yep.
Yeah, but one of them finds, oddly enough, a diary that looks just like the Book of the Dead, right? And he burns it. He's like, "Oh fuck this shit! Let's throw us and all goes to hell after that, pretty much." This this is some of the worst dialogue. Like, I don't know if they even wrote. I don't know if there's a script written for this. One of the lines I had to write it. I had to write it down. I was like, "What? What?" He's like, "Fine, fuck it, fuck this. Everybody, get your shit. Let's get the fuck out of here."
Sounds like the way we would talk to each other.
But yeah, dialogue like that pretty much through the entire movie. The car won't start, of course. Somebody steals all of their cell phones. They're all concerned about that. I'd be concerned about that too. But after the car won't start, they quit talking about trying to escape in any way. They don't like try to go look for anybody else to help them. There's an entity in the woods or something that's out to get them because they burned a fucking Evil Dead Book of the Dead. But in a way, this is kind of a throwback to those really, really shitty movies. Like, remember the Backlot Murders? That was another one.
The Corey Haim one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an awful, awful, awful movie. The setup has been done a gazillion times in a gazillion better ways than they did it. There's confusing shit in this. There's dream sequences in this that just come up out of nowhere where you're instantly in like an alternate reality and you're like, what the fuck is it? What's going on here? Those are the same actors. Why is it set like they're in the 1800s or whatever? Very poorly edited and put together.
You're really putting it over, though.
Good. I look,
It's killer.
for the nostalgia of going back and watching like a generic independent horror movie. I enjoyed it for that, but it's bad. Like, it's not a good movie in any way, so I definitely didn't want to. But
What year are we talking about? When did this come out?
2024. I think it may have been filmed like 2022, 2023 because one girl that I did recognize in this, I recognized the name instantly. And she is pretty much the only really like halfway attractive looking girl in this movie. Jennifer Barlow. Does that name sound familiar to you?
It does, yeah.
So she was one of, you remember when Rob Van Dam had two wives? She was like the other wife.
Okay.
It was the girl that he's married to now. And then Jennifer Barlow was like her girlfriend and Rob Van Dam's, girlfriend, I guess. I don't know what was going on there. Right? Also, she was in the news because I think a year or two ago, she had a flesh-eating bacteria that got inside of one of her legs and they had to amputate it.
What?
Yes. You can look it up. So,
Jesus, dude.
yeah, she had to have one of her legs amputated after contacting that. I think it was in the Bahamas. So
See, that's what
if you're
don't
thinking
go-
about
don't
thinking
go
about going to the
places.
Bahamas, yeah,
Don't go anywhere.
no. it's very unfortunate. I hate to hear that, but yeah, this may have been one of the last roles that she was in before that incident. And she does fine in it. I mean, look, these movies are made extremely low budget. And unfortunately, in a time when there's no video stores, like I just don't know what place movies like this have anymore, right? I mean, what do there's no stores that's really going to carry it. There's no video stores, which just by that cover, somebody would have definitely rented that back in the day.
Yeah.
But this is out now from Cleopatra Entertainment. It's a DVD, which is interesting too. I'm not against getting DVDs, but yeah, I mean, not the best movie, but it is what it is. And I've seen much worse, though. I'll say that. Of course, we have. We've seen much worse.
Yeah. I mean, we started when Uwe Boll was around. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen Frankenstein's Bloody Nightmare.
Exactly.
We've seen that one movie where that guy's looking so serious and he has the patch on his eye and he's like, what was that one called? Mercy or something like that?
So, yeah, it was Mercy. Yeah. Hell, I mean, we've recently seen Skinamarink. That's kind of.
So there's one more title that I've got. Do you have anything else?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay.
But I know what yours is.
So this is the extra large edition of Dead Pit is Watching. Because, yeah, I think this is going to be the longest episode that we've ever done. But, yeah, we've reviewed the most movies of all time. What is it? Probably with that box set, probably 15 movies.
13 movies, I think.
Yeah, 13, 14, 15, something like that. But I thought this one would be a fun one for us to cover because, fuck it. Like, the cool thing about this show is it gives us opportunities to talk about movies that we never would have talked about before from all sorts of different genres. And this was the beginning of a long, beautiful relationship with Adam Sandler and the director Dennis Dugan, who the first project together was the original Happy Gilmore from 1996. And I'll be honest, the Happy Madison Productions is Adam Sandler's company. It was taken from his first two big starring roles in movies. Billy Madison, which we reviewed on the last show, and then Happy Gilmore here. So these were the two movies that really shaped his career throughout the rest of the 90s on into the mid-2000s. And then he started getting a little bit full of himself and doing these dramatic roles.
But that's why I'm begging you not to watch that new fucking Happy Gilmore. Good Lord.
I'm not going to watch it. This is the only Happy Gilmore for me. All these Netflix movies can go shit and fall back in it, man.
Lord, that movie's awful.
But Happy Gilmore was one. Yeah, we would take you back to the summer of 1996 when this movie came out. Around, I think it was the summer of '96. We were like sophomores in high school. This was like a big quotable movie back then.
Yep.
Everybody, it was, Adam Sandler was like the coolest fucking guy on the planet when we were in high school. Do you remember this time?
Yeah, because at that time, I think even maybe when I was in middle school, I had his CDs. He got really, really popular with those CDs first. Where he would do the comedy routines and stuff on them.
Yeah, the lunch lady and all that stuff.
The goat and all that shit.
Yeah.
And he had songs on them too, which also caught on like crazy.
Yeah, and then the Saturday Night Live, which he was with Saturday Night Live all the way back in the 80s, right? The late 80s, I think, or maybe early 90s.
I don't know if somewhere around that area, yeah. Late 80s, early 90s.
But in this one, this one was right after Billy Madison. And like I said, it's the first movie that he and Dennis Dugan did together, which they would go on to do, Big Daddy, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, Don't Mess with the Zoan, Grown Ups, Jack and Jill, lots of stuff together.
Somebody needs to take that guy out and throw him in a river.
My favorite movie, though, that Dennis Dugan ever did, I actually like it better than this movie. And I'm hoping, man, maybe Kino or one of these companies can do a 4K of this. Saving Silverman.
That was a classic with the Neil Diamond gimmick and everything.
Yeah, and I think that was Jack Black's funniest movie. I don't think that he was ever any better. And Arlie Ermy is way better in that movie than he is in the
100%.
Texas Chainsaw
He's
Massacre.
100% better in that movie than he is. Yeah.
But Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler plays lead character, title character, Happy Gilmore, who, since a young age, has always been obsessed with being a pro hockey player. Only problem is he sucks at it. He's not very good. Every year he tries out for the local hockey team. Every year he doesn't get picked. Happy discovers his calling, though, in this movie, hitting a golf ball. He can hit a golf ball into the next fucking county. Over 400 yards. People are astonished. Meanwhile, his granny is getting evicted for not paying her taxes for like 20 years or whatever the hell they said. There's some outrageous, you didn't pay your taxes in 20 years, granny. Look, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So our house is getting repossessed by the IRS. And Happy needs to make money quick so he can save his granny's house. And he meets up with this golf pro, Carl Weathers, who plays Chubbs in the movies. A very interesting choice. I always thought that Carl Weathers played this role. Like, I don't know how, if they did auditions for this or they just had him in mind or what, but he was like an ex-golf pro that lost his hand to like a fucking alligator or something, like playing golf years earlier. But he's trying to convince Happy into becoming he's impressed with his driving skills and all that, to become a pro golfer. Hey, if you get on the circuit, man, your minimum's like, if you come in last place, it's like $1,500 or something like that. And he's like, oh, hell yeah. Sign me up, man. Yeah, Happy is not the greatest golf player. He's decent, right? He's a lot better golfer than he is a hockey player, for sure. But he's popular. Like, the kids like him because he acts crazier than shit, cusses like a motherfucker.
Right.
He's, he's a loose cannon. And soon there becomes a bitter rivalry with the lead golfer on the circuit, Shooter McGavin, who played by Christopher McDonald.
Yeah.
Who's actually in the new one too, right? Didn't they bring him back?
He's actually probably the only decent thing about the new one. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's kind of like jealous of Happy because Happy's getting all the press and everything, and all the girls like Happy, and he's signing their boobies and everything. Yeah, it ultimately comes down to, of course, a showdown between those two. Happy needs his granny's house. I think the story is there towards the end that Shooter buys the house out from under Happy, and they have like the one final match. Winner wins granny's house. If Happy loses, he leaves the golf scene forever, right? And that's pretty much the movie, with
Yep.
a lot of other hilarious tidbits along the way.
It's just one of those movies that, like, I can remember almost every scene in it for some reason. It's like so much a part, because we were 16 when this movie came out. It's like so much a part of like that formative period in our
The
lives.
Bob Barker thing, everybody talks
The Bob
about
Barker
too.
thing, the fucking Shooter McGavin thing, pretty much everything in the movie. Like, I can remember one way or the other. But like, you remember the thing with the guy from the James Bond movies where he's like,
Yeah, the fucking, what was his name?
oh God, I don't know
The
his
big-
real
the
name,
big
but he's
gigantic
tall
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the James Bond movie. And it's just a classically quotable film.
Ben Stiller's like the evil orderly in it. It's putting all the old people to work making quilts.
Yeah, he's like, you will go to sleep or I will put you to sleep.
The one thing that didn't work in it, and I noticed it and it stuck out like a sore thumb, was Happy's love interest in the movie.
That's true. That's
those
not,
two, yeah, they did not work. The actress's name was Julie Bowen, who played Virginia Vint, who's like a publicist for the golf tournament and kind of falls for Happy, and that didn't work. Like, I don't think that she did a very good job, and they definitely didn't have chemistry as a couple. Like, that's the one thing that kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. Like, those two, I just didn't see it.
Yep.
But the movie's a lot of fun. It's the first time I'd seen this movie in a long time. I still think that I prefer Billy Madison slightly over this.
I do too. And I don't know why, but I do too. Like, I think that the love interest in that is much better too, as well as like a lot of the jokes still hold up better.
Yeah, and the overall cast and everybody that's in the movie, it works better than this one. Although this one is a lot of fun too, and it takes me back to the
well. Don't worry though. Don't worry, they'll have a Billy Madison 2 coming to Netflix in no time. I guarantee.
I'm sure. Didn't he sign some kind of deal with Netflix?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Like all of his movies come out on Netflix now, right?
You think about all the trash that's come out from that man in like the last 5 years.
Here's the thing, though, man. Like, he's probably just taking the money.
Hell yeah, he is. That's exactly what he
doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care, and I don't blame him. I mean, fuck it. Nobody's making any good movies now anyway. So
that's true.
I guess I can talk about the 4K of this. This looks great in 4K. Whereas Billy Madison looked, I mean, it looked fine. It was as good as Billy Madison you would think it ever looked. This one is noticeably better. Like, I don't know what the difference is, but yeah, the 4K of this look fantastic. There's not a whole lot of special features on it. There's an audio commentary with author and filmmaker Brian Conley and the Billy Gilmore podcast host Wilson Smith, deleted scenes, outtakes, and a theatrical trailer.
Yeah, boy.
That's what I'm talking about. It's in 4K. Hey, I didn't own this at all on anything, so glad to add it to the collection. So I guess that is it, guys.
It better be. Hey. I'm ready to fucking pass out.
Ooh, we got just a little bit of time coming up here tonight. 11:30. The Vinegar Syndrome, whatever it is, Labor Day Spooktacular, whatever they're calling it. We're going to be live with Garrett and Christian, Planet CHH and Born to Be Rad, multi-stream covering the sale and what kind of goodies they've got. And we will be back soon. Man, there is so much stuff coming out this fall. There's always stuff to watch. And you guys need to always remember, too, that DEADPIT
is watching.
I want all these people to click everything they're supposed to click.
You haven't been liking them, you haven't been subscribing to them, you haven't clicked the bell or notification or anything like that.
Folks, why don't you click the like button?
Do you hate us? Do you not want to see us succeed?
Why don't you click the heart button?
Is this something that you have against our particular show?
Why don't you subscribe?
You should click on one of them buttons right now if you want us to continue to breathe greatness into your life.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last Out on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. You know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
Here's what other fucking Patreons do. They're like, hey, give us money, and then we'll let you see a video early that we're going to release like a fucking week from now, and then that's all we're going to give you. Meanwhile, we have a literal jukebox full of songs, thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So deadpitonpatreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.